If you like The Daniel Blair Show, you will love Main Event Moto. Come join producer Joe and I at patreon.com/maineventmoto, where we talk Supercross, we talk motocross, and deliver 3 long-form podcasts per week with no commercials. Again, that's patreon.com/maineventmoto, or you can click the link in the bio. Thanks for watching, and enjoy this week's episode of The Daniel Blair Show.
The Daniel Blair Show, sponsored by Motosport.com, Mika Metals, Race Tech, ASV Inventions, and Guts Racing.
So many storylines leaving Vegas, but there can only be 10 lead stories. And we start with number 10, the SMX finale. And unfortunately, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas. Wow, that was a wild one. And between the Haiden and Joe exchange and the 450 battles with Jett, Hunter, and Eli, that was a crazy way to end the season. The entertainment was all time. The injuries and carnage was kind of all time too. And there's no wackier way to end the year than that one. Haiden was amazing, Moto 1, and ridiculous, Moto 2. Joe's show was amazing all day and night. Jett went straight psycho in Moto 1 in one of the best rides I've ever seen from him, which is saying something. And both Hunter and Eli brought their A-games in a race that sort of saved the playoffs. The point system worked. The track, which looked terrible during RDL, turned out to be pretty dang good at night, giving me Monster Cup vibes, and surprisingly, it raced well too. Tons of passes, fun math, drama, and an exclamation point on the 2025 season. Even though it started at 10 p.m. Eastern, the Blair family stayed up and watched it all. And if you are a dirt bike lover, then that was grade A entertainment. As complimentary as I'm being for this night alone, the whole thing needs work, as most of the people I know and speak to regularly were kind of over it. The idea on a macro level is pretty good, but there are some details that need tweaking, one being perception. It is not a world championship. It's a 3-race runoff. It is not a playoff. It's a 3-race cash grab and a thank you to the athletes who cash in big after a long season of entertaining us. I believe that if SMX was expressed accurately to the fans, they'd all jump on board. We love racing. We love action and drama, which big money creates, and I think the whole sport gets on board if we're all on the same page. I think we need to fix rounds 1 and 2, with round 1 being a regular Supercross with whoops, with a standard Supercross format. The location doesn't matter. It can be at Talladega. Just make the whole track and format Supercross and open up the entries to anyone not seeded in the top 10 in total points. Round 2 can be motocross at a track like Lincoln Trail or Monster Mountain with a standard 2-moto format, 20 minutes apiece, on a track that can be shorter too. And minute 30 is plenty for an end-of-season motocross round of this 3-part extravaganza. And of course, end it in Vegas on a hybrid Monster Cup track with a 3-moto format to fill the broadcast, because my one complaint last night was the massive gap in between Moto 1s and Moto 2s. This thing can be good. It is awesome for the riders, and Vegas is obviously the destination for the finale, forever. As a diehard fan of this sport, I want it to succeed. I want these dudes getting paid, and there is nothing cooler in the world than dirt bike racing. This past Saturday was everything we expected and hoped it would be, and 2025 clearly ended with a bang. Chase Sexton is lead story number 9, and Saturday night I was gutted when I went to bed. I woke up to Chase's Instagram post with the news that he was in somewhat better shape than it looked, but that was still a terrible way to end the season. That track was pretty sketchy, even if you were all the way locked in, and it's pretty clear from watching with my 2 eyeballs that Chase was not himself. It was a rough look watching him battle and get passed by guys who typically only beat him when he's on the ground, and it looked to me like he wasn't fully engaged. How often do we see him being picked on for 5th? I mean, that track screamed Chase Sexton, hard packed, slick, and MetLife-like, and if he's all in, he's battling Jett, Hunter, and Eli for the win, and that clearly wasn't the case. He looked disinterested to me, and on a track like that, at those speeds, that is dangerous. And although I get it, just trying to punch that card, clock in, clock out, you can't do that at his level and speed. I'm glad he's somewhat okay, but I'm gutted for him and Team USA now that he's out for Ironman. Between the Deegs and Chase, we just got dealt a big fat L for Motocross of Nations, and even though Chase is over the KTM, I know he would have given us his all at that race. This setback pushes him back even further when it comes to testing and prepping on the Kawasaki, so as much as it stings in the short term, it's the long term that hurts him worse. This next chapter is big for Chase. He's got a lot to prove, it's not going to be easy, and there will be massive hurdles to overcome, and unfortunately, the ending to this season could not have made it any worse. Speaking of the Motocross of Nations, lead story number 8 is a big congratulations to Team Australia on their win at Ironman. Of course, I'm just being a big baby. It ain't over before the gate drops, but dang, what a bummer. As much as I wanted to see Team USA win, I really watched the race for the unique battles that we never get to see. One being Haiden Deegan against the MX2 boys, in particular, Simon Langenfelder, Kai de Wolf, and Sasha Kunin. And now, we don't get to see it. Simon is the new 250 World Champion, Kai was last year's 250 World Champion, and this Sasha kid is pretty bossy, and racing against Haiden would have been a cool gauge on where we stack against the Euros, or where they stack against us, seeing as though it's on our track. I'll still watch, obviously, but this thing took a hit pretty bad, and for a race that had our dream team lined up, it doesn't anymore, and that is a consequence of Vegas. Lead story number 7 is the pending battle between Joe Shimoda and Seth Hammaker, if they end up on the same coast in Supercross next season. Joe and Seth had great starts and finishes to their year, with a bunch of bumps and bruises along the way, but it's pretty clear that going into 2026, they are the favorites, outside of Haiden, depending on what he does. Joe won the opener at Anaheim, putting to bed the idea that he's a slow starter. Then he got his fingers whacked by a pit board, which ruined his 250 West campaign. Then he came out and threw up a bunch of seconds to start motocross, got hot and won a bunch of motos, including a smash job at Unadilla, and now ends the year as the SMX champ. Clearly, he has figured things out and should be a force next year, regardless of the comp or the coast. Seth was awesome too, almost winning his first Supercross championship in a breakout season, and there's no reason he won't be better next year. Outdoors wasn't super great, but he proved how gritty he is, he toughed it out, heads into the offseason with a little TLC needed, but more importantly, he carries a heavy dose of confidence into the 2026 season. He's an incredible starter and a favorite to win next year, regardless of the comp and the coast. Cole Davies had a rough end to the season. Juju's return is unknown, but most likely going to be a long and a tough one, and Levi Kitchen is an absolute head-scratcher. Who emerges next year? Who comes out of nowhere like Seth did? Will we get a young breakout rider like Juju and Cole were this year? While Joe and Seth have earned the right to be considered clear favorites, 250 Supercross seems to always give us something unexpected, and for many riders in this class, the opportunity to break out is sitting right in front of them. Maybe it's Pierce Brown or Cameron McAdoo who are lead story number 6, and before you laugh at the idea that these two could come out swinging, let's be open-minded. Pierce won the opening heat race of the 250 East season last year, and although it went south right away, he is still a shredder, and it's pretty clear that he's being forgotten about. It took RJ Hampshire a year or 8 to get it together, but RJ always had speed, as does Pierce, and with a tweak here or a tweak there, he is capable of winning. Same with Cam. Regardless of the injury history, he always shows up, like he did last year with a podium finish at the opening round. When a rider has grit and the capability to race with their junk hanging out, you can't really count them out. Cameron has multiple Supercross wins, has battled with the best 250 riders in the class for years, and if fully healthy, he has to be considered. A racer is a racer is a racer, and Cam is a racer. One thing that will be weird for these two, if they were to re-emerge, is that the number they will be racing with next year will be triple digits. Due to the injuries, the missed races, and the lack of points, Pierce and Cam are starting over. With Luke Neese getting a 2-digit number next year, 125 is available. And I'm begging you, Pierce, and I'm begging you, Cam, call the AMA right now and grab that number before Vince does, all right? I can't handle another season of Vince on the 125. Boys, I promise to only be nice next year, okay? Complimentary coverage for whoever grabs the 125 next year. Please, I beg you, and hurry up. Lead story number 5 is the looming battle in the Rockstar Husky truck with Malcolm Stewart and RJ Hampshire, and the battle between the Coops, Cooper Webb and Justin Cooper in the Star Yamaha truck. Although everyone is striving for the top of the podium, being the best guy in your own truck matters too. And with RJ moving up and J. Coop continuing to improve, Malcolm Stewart and Cooper Webb are not safe. Malcolm is now a Supercross winner, and even though he's not an outdoor guy and we kind of lose our affection for him during the summer, he's an elite indoor racer coming off his first win in 2025, and RJ is still a rookie. Now, I am blown away by RJ's summer, and as I've brought up multiple times this year, his first ever 450 Supercross at Daytona was a banger, and he won his heat race against 3 champs. But we haven't seen him on the big boy bike on the tight tracks, in the whoops, and I think the battle over Rockstar supremacy will be a tight one. In the Star Truck, it's a little more lopsided. Cooper Webb is now a 3-time champ, and when he's locked in, all shark-like, he's the best pure racer in the sport. How bad does he want that 4th title? How bad does he want to join RV and the Dunge on the list of 4-timers? I'm assuming badly, but he has struggled in championship defense seasons in his career. He is smarter, grittier, and craftier than J. Coop in Supercross, but I don't think he's faster. Where is Justin in his career trajectory? Next year will probably tell us. He either fixes the whoops and takes another leap forward, or he's hit his peak. And with Jett and Eli returning, it's back to chasing a podium, and a win isn't very realistic. This will be a big offseason for all 4, and I have to imagine RJ and J. Coop will be locked in to become the team's #1, but it'll have to go through 2 riders in Malcolm and Cooper, who are established stars, winners in the 450 class, and not likely to give it up easily. Jason Anderson is lead story #4, and unless there's a sudden change to his schedule and plans, Hombre will be racing an RMZ Suzuki 450 in World Supercross. Where does he fit in the hierarchy next year? How will he adapt to the yellow bike, and where will his motivation be after a tough and un-Jason-like season? The last 2 years have been a struggle, and knowing what we know about Kawasaki and Jorge Prado, I don't think it would be very fair to put it all on Jason, and I'm hopeful that we get the all-in hombre that's been elite at multiple times in his career. When things are right, like 2018 on the Husqvarna and 2022 on the Kawasaki, Anderson is lethal. And with Suzuki apparently stepping things up next year, and Jason's history with the brand, I think he will be right next year. He spent his amateur days on yellow, and like Ken Roczen, familiar feel and homecoming will be a great late career bump. Sometimes a fresh start is all a rider needs. Sometimes new scenery and new people are the kickstart for new motivation. Kickstart? Get it? No? And something tells me that we're not done with Jason Anderson, and he's not done being a factor. World Supercross is up first, and if the rosters shape up the way I think they are, he will be the favorite to win SX1. A good hombre is fun, and I believe we are a few weeks away from seeing it again. Congratulations to Jett Lawrence and his pet bird. They are lead story #3, and for the 3rd year in a row, Donuts is your SMX champ. That one wasn't easy though. Dude was off all day, then went crazy town in Moto 1 in an epic display of dirt biking, then woke up just in time Moto 2 to steal it away from his brother again. Seriously, James was right. Slash his tires, Hunter, do something. But I do think we've found Jett's weakness. When the title is on the line and the points are tight, he is a little goofy. Falling in practice, making mistakes, looking all human-like, and when the dirt is slick and icy like Washougal, he's the perfect amount of careful to keep things honest. But when pushed to the limit with his back against the wall, he finds an extra level of elite to do what he did in Vegas. Finish the job. He is a generational talent and the best dirt bike rider of all time already, and it's not just him, it's 2 of them, as Hunter has clearly taken the #2 spot in the sport. Patches O'Houlihan was also phenomenal in Vegas, and when it comes to the competition, taking on one of them is a big ask, but taking on both is going to be a problem that might not be possible. They do everything right. They study, they execute, they handle their drama well. Heard anything on that in a while? No, because they are machine-like in their approach. They chase every detail, and together there's double the research, double the testing, and double the difficulty for everyone else. Jett was asked about Haiden in the press conference, and he wisely answered, "I got Hunter to worry about," and he does. I believe they go 1-2 next year, indoor and out, and even though Hunter has yet to win a 450 Supercross, I'm ready to put him there. Sorry Coop, sorry Chase, sorry Eli, but Jett is not your only problem. The Lawrences have conquered the sport. Oh, and sorry USA, we about to get whooped. Lead story number 2 is Haiden Deegan, and it has been 5, maybe 6 months since we've done this, and I don't know if we should, but I want to. It's so deserved. I mean, obviously, right? What the heck? I gotta do it. I know you all want it, and it's the last show of the season. Oh man, Haiden, scroll forward a couple minutes, okay, buddy? This one is gonna sting. And producer Joe, you know exactly what to do.
It's time. Time to overreact. Overreaction. Let's all overreact.
Super Duper Cross fans, it is time to overreact. Haiden Deegan, what was that? Bro, I am not laughing at you. I am laughing with you. No, actually, I'm laughing at you. Dude, what in the militia was that? Are you serious? What was your plan there, bro? And you dingleberries that think I'm laughing at an injury, give me a break. I don't wish or celebrate injury on anyone, but that whole thing was straight Comedy Central. Plus, it's a collarbone. Oh, hey, Deegs, Cody Shock says, what up? But yes, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen in this sport. I raced Tyler Bowers in Arena Cross. I raced Rusty Holland all over the fairgrounds of NorCal, and I've never seen anything like that. I mean, what was the plan? Seriously, Draymond, what happens if you pull it off? You think the AMA is blind? What is this, Epstein? The cameras are gonna just go out and the AMA takes a mid-shift nap? Bro, there's no chance you get away with that. Actually, hold up. Hold 1 second. Maybe you would have pulled this off. 5 points. The AMA penalty was 5 points for assault multiple times. Based on basic math, it would have worked. Whoa! It would have worked. 5 points is nothing on a night with triple points. Wow, my bad, Deegs. It would have worked. But it didn't. The truth is, the first half of the silliness, I wasn't mad at. I wasn't. Weird it up, slow it up, bunch it up, rev it up, rip it right at swerve. Drink weird, Joe, drink weird. But then it got straight up violent. The shoulder spikes came out and it went Grand Theft Auto. I mean, that was the worst case of O'Doyle rules I've ever seen. Bro, O'Doyle and his whole family crashed off a cliff. And so did you. You blew it! And now he's out. Motocross of Nations is a no-go. USA just got smacked upside the head. And all the haters and doubters who all agreed to take off 1 day of hating and doubting are big mad. So, while Haiden sits out Motocross of Nations, maybe you danger dudes online should sit this one out too. Yes, sit it out. Slam a monster, take the L, and put your thumbs away. Your boy done goofed. And yes, the middle ground fans are pissed. They have lost all respect. Not the cult members, of course. They are shoulder spikes for life. But the regular fans are over it. And there's only one way to earn back their respect. If you want it, of course, earn it back on the bike. Haiden is an amazing dirt bike racer. He is a force and a phenom, and I get it. The attitude is what makes him strong, but it's worn out its welcome. Okay, McGregor, give it a rest. I mean, the 450 class is built different. Levi and Joe and Tom and Juju and Chance are not Jett and Hunter and Chase and Bam and Ombre, all right? It's time to grow up, Peter Pan. Time to twist that grip and zip that lip. Love you, Haiden.
Time to overreact. Overreaction. Let's all overreact.
This week's lead story is the Daniel Blair Show. Yes, we are #1, finally. And I just wanted to end this season with a big giant thank you to the fans of this sport who have watched, liked, commented, and engaged with me all season long. We took a big leap this summer thanks to producer Joe the Magician, and thanks to your requests to make the show longer and spicier, which we did. We will continue to progress, we will continue to improve, and the odds of this show taking a leap in 2026 are pretty good. We may drop in from time to time this offseason if there's newsworthy topics, but you can find Joe and I at Main Event Moto on Patreon. We will continue to drop 3 shows per week without commercials, and this week's review show is in front of the paywall. Click the link, come try us out. Thanks again for everything, and we'll see you soon.
Main event motomerch.com. Main event motomerch.com. Main event motomerch.com.